Hi my friends, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, I'm Casper the Boy Diviner, and today I wanted to talk about my most masculine decks. So I think all of us are pretty progressive. We all know that gender is on the spectrum. So when I say masculine, I'm not saying these are like men-only decks. I don't know if that makes sense. I just wanted to really do this collection just because I feel like before, women were not really allowed in the esoteric space in a sense in high ceremonial magic, and I feel like the tarot was really dominated by a lot of male creators. And then Kim Krans came about. Not only her, I mean a lot of women creators started to step up also. And I feel like right now we have a lot of great decks that are more, that are balanced or that are more feminine in nature, and there's nothing wrong with that. It's just that I do feel that dearth of masculine decks that I could really enjoy and use. For example, I really enjoy the Modern Witch Tarot. I just didn't feel like I would be able to connect with it because I am a Asian cis male. I just want to do this little video about that. I'm not gendering my decks, definitely not. I'm not saying this deck is female, that deck is male. I'm just using my intuition, and I just wanted to share some of these more masculine decks for any kind of a male reader who's looking for that, or even female readers who are looking for that. I'm not trying to target someone. Yeah, I'm not the best at navigating these issues, especially because in Singapore, these issues are still not to the surface yet. So I hope you guys understand where I'm coming from and where I am trying to, I'm just doing my best, okay? So feel free to educate me, even though I know that's my own prerogative and my own responsibility. Feel free to let me know what you think. It's just something I felt was needed, something I would love to watch and see, because I wanted to know more about whether a deck is more masculine so that my whole collection can be more well-rounded. So the first deck that I feel like it's pretty balanced, just leaning towards a bit more masculine than the usual perfectly balanced deck, would be the THOTH Tarot. This is a deck that I feel like there are controversies. People don't really like Aleister Crowley, and I don't really use this deck as much as I should. James Feeney loves this deck, and I really admire him for it. The images are so powerful. I feel like if I had a one without borders, maybe I'll feel more like I want to use it. But look at how powerful these images are. What a powerful woman. So a masculine deck can have powerful women as well. I'm just saying that this is more masculine. How sharp the edges are. I kind of want to use the term yang more than masculine, but I feel like in the Western society, people always say feminine and masculine rather than yin and yang. That's what I'm trying to get at. And this really has more of a yang energy. Yang in English, yang in Chinese, so forgive me if I mix them up from time to time. How geometric this deck is so carefully placed, so controlled. This is probably why I do feel that sort of masculine energy, even in the more feminine cards. If you see like the Princess of Swords, there's that kind of raw yang energy running through this deck that I really enjoy. I don't know why I'm showing you so many of these cards, because everyone probably has a copy of the THOTH Tarot. I really wanted to get into THOTH soon, but probably not this year. I really need to focus on what I need to focus on. But this is really one of my most masculine leaning decks. The next one is one of my most, I would say this is the most masculine deck that I own, and it's the True Black Tarot. And it's by Arthur Wang, who is a Chinese male. So I do feel like there's a sense of yang energy, especially with the colors of white, black, and gold. I just feel like this is an inherently more masculine deck, leaning towards masculinity, leaning towards the yang energy. Even though you see how beautiful and delicate this lady is, there's some sort of fiery kind of energy that runs through this. Let me know if you want to see more a collection of feminine decks, even though I do feel like there are plenty out there. My feminine deck collection wouldn't be as interesting as this one because I don't feel like I have the most feminine decks. Sorry, I keep rambling back and forth, but look at how masculine this deck is. I do feel like there is a beauty in this deck. I wish I could use this deck more. The card stock kind of troubles me. See the star? She's beautiful, she's so delicate, but there's something, about this void here that really screams yang energy to me. So I don't know what you think. I don't know whether you agree with me, but I do feel like this is one of the most Yang cards, Yang decks that I own, and I really enjoy the imagery. I just don't really enjoy the cardstock. Arthur Wang has already expressed his opinion that, you know, he likes how chunky it is. It's not something he would change in future, but it's really chunky, and you probably can't riffle shuffle it. I tried to, I can't, and because a lot of this, I have the first version with the misspelled Hierophant card, and I think this version actually has spot gloss instead of transparent foil, and because of the spot gloss, it does feel a bit more rough, you know. I've used my friend's one with the transparent foil, and I feel like the experience overall is better. Wow, look at this, you know, look at the hangman. Yeah, this to me is definitely more of a Yang deck. A deck that is more neutral in tone, but definitely more masculine in that sense, is drawn by and created by Alexander Daniloff. I really like this deck. I don't really use it that often anymore. I have too many decks to use, guys. But I really love the women in this deck. They are so expressive. The expressions here are so perfect. But I do feel like this is more of an inherently masculine deck. Not as much as the True Black or the Thoth, but definitely more masculine. The Lover's card. So I don't know if you're getting this masculine vibe from this deck, but I do feel it even in gentler cards like this one. Yeah, a beautiful deck. Definitely beautiful. I do wish the cardstock was different. Yeah, I hope I don't come off as a cardstock snob, even though that was my tag. It was just meant for alliteration. It was the thing that came to my mind. A lot of people commented they were not snobs, but we all have our cardstock preferences. Maybe I should have just changed it to preferences, but it did feel a bit long. Yeah, but this is definitely more of a male deck to me. You know, maybe I should show you a more feminine deck to contrast what I mean, because I don't know if people understand, so maybe I'll do that at the end. But yes, the DANILOFF Tarot is definitely more of a masculine deck. Another masculine deck that I wanted to talk about is the ARCANA playing cards. Another deck that I wish I used more, and I feel like I'm getting a hang of playing card readings just because Oak and Thorn from Instagram told me a few resources that I felt like was really easy to understand playing cards, so I really am enjoying that more now. So maybe I should really pick up this deck and use it more, but this is definitely more of a masculine deck to me. I think there's something about like the restraint of color. Even though the Thoth is vibrantly colored, I do feel like there is something to this deck that feels inherently male. Maybe because it feels so traditional, like the art feels so traditional. So even like the Queen. I don't know. If you guys find like there's a common theme between all these decks that I'm not seeing, that maybe calls to me as more masculine, let me know. I have a feeling it might have to do with like the angles, because the Thoth is a very angled deck. I feel like the DANILOFF has a lot of angles, especially with their faces. And this deck does feel like it's very traditional, very based in history kind of deck. Maybe that's why I do feel like this deck is more masculine. The last and fifth that I wanted to show you, which is the most neutral out of all these decks, is the Tabula Mundi. Lovely cards. I really enjoy this deck. If you haven't seen it, you can watch a walkthrough. I'll put it up there somewhere. But I feel like this deck is a combination, like it's a really neutral deck. Look at how beautiful that is. And then this is more feminine in nature. And then, you know, it really has the spectrum. It has a consistent style and a consistently neutral style. I do feel like this leans a tiny bit, maybe like 1 cm or 1/2 an inch towards masculinity for me. What do you think, guys? I do feel like other works are also really neutral, like I think the Rosetta Tarot, but that leans more towards the feminine. So I don't know if there is a... Is she doing that on purpose? I don't know. But I do feel like this is a more masculine deck, and this definitely has the same angularity as the Thoth, that kind of feeling, because it is a Thoth based deck. Let me know what you think. Is this masculine, feminine? Does it matter? Does this feeling matter to any of you? Because I know some people don't want to know, or they like decks that are completely neutral. I don't feel like there's such a thing. There are a few decks in my collection that is very gender neutral, I feel. Let me know if you want to see those. I'm not talking about representation, I'm not talking about the figures in the deck, I'm talking about the deck feeling by itself. So let me know if that's interesting to you. I might think about doing that, but right now I feel like this collection that I want to show you is really for people who are looking for more masculine leaning decks, considering the art. Basically the art. Is the art leaning towards masculine or feminine or yang and yin? So you want to have a more yang based art in your deck. These are things you can consider. An example of a more feminine deck I would say would be the Star Spinner Tarot. Even though it is a really lovely deck that covers it's diverse, it has men, women, a lot of things. I do feel like this feeling of this deck is definitely more feminine than masculine, and this is actually done by a male artist called Trungles. So it's not about the gender of the creator, it's not about, it's more about their art style. So I do feel like this deck is definitely more feminine than masculine. So this is just to contrast with you what I mean, and I hope you guys understand, and I'm not trying to step on any toes here, but please let me know if I am. I can always reply to your comments, pin your comments so that people are more aware. So just chat with me, let me know. I'm gonna repeat my decks again. Okay, so firstly the Thoth deck, the True Black Tarot, the DANILOFF Tarot, the ARCANA playing cards, and finally the TABULA MUNDI. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. You guys have a great rest of the day. You take care. Bye!